In our today's class, we are going to look at an exponential equation from mathematics. So we are going to look at the question on your screen. The question says we should find n. How are we going to go about this? Let's start. Solution. Now, from the question, you can see that we have 8 raised to power n minus 2 raised to power n over 4 raised to power n minus 2 raised to power n is equal to 17. Now, to solve this is what we are going to do. So, this 8 now, we can equally write 8 to be 2 raised to power 3. Then all into what? Into n. Remember. Now, minus 2 raised to power n. Minus 2 raised to power n all over 4. 4 is 2 raised to power 2. And that's going to give us 2 raised to power 2. That is 4 is 2 times 2, right? That's 2 raised to power 2. Everything into power of what? N minus 2 raised to power what? N is equal to 17. Now, if you look at this very well, you realize that this is multiplication law. 2 raised to power 3 into bracket n is multiplication law of what? Of indices. The same thing as 2 raised to power 2 into raised to power what? N is from multiplication law of indices. Now, what we are going to do here is to say, in multiplication law of indices, remember that the two power, this and this will multiply each other. That is 3 and n will multiply. Then we are going to have 2 raised to power 3n minus 2 raised to power n over 2 and n will also multiply. You are going to have 2 raised to power 2n minus 2n is equal to 17. Now, if we look at this very well, now at this point now, you realize that you can simply say, note that this your 3n, let me take it out. It is the same thing as rather not 3n, that 2 raised to power 3n is the same thing as 2 raised to power 3n is the same thing as 2 raised to power n times 2 raised to power n times 2 raised to power n. Remember, in multiplication law, all you are going to do is just to say 2 raised to power, you pick 1, 2, since the bases are equal, you add the powers together. Now, you are going to have this to be 2 raised to power 3n. Why am I saying this? The same thing will be applicable here. Just take note of this. Take note of this. Now, what we are going to do, back to our question. This is our question. Now, this is the same thing as saying, this one is the same thing as saying 2 raised to power n times 2 raised to power 2n. Remember, if I pick 1 and add this together, we are still going to get 3n. Power of 3n. Now, minus 2 raised to power n over the same thing applicable to this. You are going to have 2 raised to power n times 2 raised to power n minus 2n is equal to 17. Now, if you look at this very well, between this and this, 2 raised to power n is common. Bring it out. You are going to have 2 raised to power n into bracket 2 raised to power 2n minus 1. Then over the same thing applicable to here, to the denominator, 2 raised to power n is common between this and this. Then you are going to bring out 2 raised to power n, then you are going to have 2 raised to power n minus what? 1 is equal to 17. Let's cross check. Look at what we have here. Let's come back to this place. Now, if you look at it very well, you realize that if I multiply this and this, you are going to have this and this. Then if I multiply 1 times this, you are going to have this. It's still the same thing. Now, with this now, at the denominator too, If I multiply the 2 raised to power n times 2 raised to power n, you are still going to have 2 raised to power n. Then 2 raised to power n times 1, you are still going to have 2 raised to power what? N. Now, what we are going to do with this now, this and this can cancel. Then you are going to left with what? 2 raised to power n. What is inside the bracket? 2 raised to power 2n minus 1 over 2 raised to power n minus 1 is equal to minus 1 is equal to what? 17. Now, at this junction now, this is what we are going to do at this junction. At this junction, we are going to say this. If you look at this very well, we can simply say, let's come back to this. We can simply say 2 raised to power, for example, let me have a raised to power nm. You can have it to be a raised to power n into bracket m. Is the same thing when you multiply, or you say a raised to power m into what? N is the same thing. Now let's apply the same thing to this one. Now we are going to do this to 2 raised to power 2n. Then we are going to have 2 raised to power n raised to power 2 minus, remember this one now, we can say this raised to power 2. That one raised to power 2 is the same thing as 1. Do you get the point now? It's the same thing as 1. Now what we are going to do here is to say over 2 raised to power n minus 1 is equal to 17. Now at this point now, remember under expansion, this one, when you have something of this nature, it becomes 2 raised, since the power is the same, 2, then it becomes 2 raised to power n minus 1 into brackets 2 raised to power n plus 1 over 2 raised to power n minus 1. Now this in bracket, then you are going to have it to be equal to 17. Now look at what happened here. This and this are the same. If you cancel it, you are going to have 2 raised to power n plus 1 is equal to 17. Now you are going to have this. When you take this to the other side, you are going to have 2 raised to power n is equal to 17 minus 1, and you are going to have 2 raised to power n is equal to 16, which is going to give you 2 raised to power 16 is 2 raised to power 4, and that is going to give you 2 raised to power 4, and this is going to give you 2 raised to power n is equal to 2 raised to power 4. If you cancel this and this, you are going to left with what? Your n to be equal to 4. So the value of your n is 4. We can simply use a simple approach to check. Now if you look at this very well, the initial equation given to us is 8 raised to power n minus 2 raised to power n over 4 raised to power n minus 2 raised to power n. Now if I slot in anywhere I have n, if I slot in 4, then we are going to have 8 raised to power 4 minus 2 raised to power 4 over 4 raised to power 4 minus 2 raised to power 4. If you look at this very well, it is very simple. The same approach we use. Just press your calculator. Don't let us waste much of our time. Let's press calculator to have what the answer will be. Then we'll now minus this from this and this from this. Let's see. Look at what happened. From here, this 8 raised to power 4, if you multiply that, is 8 in 4 places, it's going to give you 4096. Then 2 in 4 places is going to give you 16 over 4 in 4 places is going to give you 256. Then minus 2 in 4 places is going to give you 16. When you minus 16 from 4,960, you are going to get 4,080. 4,000. You are going to get 4,080. Then over 240. When you minus 16 from 256, you are going to get 240. Now, when you divide 4,080 naira from 240, you are going to get 17, which confirm our answer here. So thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. More of fantastic and reliable solutions of questions like this will still be solved under this channel. Thank you.